we're going to find out more about a smart booking system that's helping restaurateurs run their business under COVID restrictions. ResButler is a full-service restaurant management system which even optimises space and manages social distancing. To learn more, we're joined here in the studio by ResButler founder and CEO, Peter Petroulas. Peter, thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Afternoon.
Great to have you here, Peter. I do want to talk about your restaurant business and how it's going, because it has been a very interesting time. Yes. You run one of Sydney's finest establishments, the GPO Group, including a wonderful Italian intermezzo down at Martin Place. I'll start actually by asking, are you about to open up? What's happening?
Actually, since we brought it up, we're actually not reopening.
Yeah.
The impact on the CBD by COVID-19 has been so great that it's actually pointless for us to even attempt to reopen.
Wow. So this is where your side hustle, which you've been working on for a couple of years now, ResButler, has come in handy. I'm fascinated by it because it started as an ability for restaurateurs to maximise the use of their existing space. That's taken on a whole new meaning in the coronavirus era. What's been happening with the platform?
I guess with the platform, when we first started, every other online booking system looks at how to allocate a booking to a table. So it has no reference to space or no relationship to it. And that actually creates more work for a restaurant because the allocation to a table, being unrelated to the space, then means more manual work needs to be done. For example, if a booking comes in when the office is not open or it comes in online, then how do you know the booking's not going to get rejected? Because it's got no ability to manage the tables within the space. So you actually need to do a lot more work to ensure each day that you look at your bookings and you rearrange them in the hope that you don't reject the booking.
So Peter, how have you solved this problem? Tell us about your technology.
Because the technology moved away from using a search algorithm to find a table to actually using space and using construction algorithms to allocate a table and a booking within the space.
So this must be extremely important in the COVID era because, of course, we've got to observe the 4 square metres and all of that. Have you been able to build that in at this point in time?
Well, there was no need to build it in because our system, by being a space management system, working on measurements and distance, then all you had to do, when it constructs a table, by joining, let's say, 3 tables of 2 together to get a table of 6, it creates that construction, then it allows the distance of 1.5 metres to the next table. And then if the next booking comes in as a booking for 4, it'll construct that table and then again apply a distance to the following table.
Peter, it's like you had a crystal ball anticipating what had happened this year. How long have you been operating this idea for? When did you start?
We started actively looking at it about 5 years ago.
Okay.
And it's sort of taken that long to be able to, I guess, ensure that we protect our intellectual property, which has been a big part of it, and then to start designing and coding a system from scratch.
So what's next for you now? Of course, restaurants are just starting to reopen. You've got some people who are using the platform.
Absolutely.
What are your hopes for ResButler? What's next?
Well, because what ResButler does is completely automates the entire process, then it'll allow restaurants to reduce their cost structure. To start with, it'll allow people, because it's managing the table, which is the core of what a restaurant is, then you can do pre-ordering, you can do ordering in service, you can do payments, so then the whole process becomes automated. So when it becomes extremely tough for a restaurant, then they can always use more automation, or alternatively, they can redesign their approach and do more customer service as distinct to just order taking.
You've bootstrapped this business. Are you looking for funds at this point in time, or where are you up to on that journey?
Well, it depends. I mean, we'll continue to bootstrap it. However, if there's a logical partner that we can use, or the synergies that we can have with somebody else, we'd absolutely happy and glad to look at that as well.
And as word got out about ResButler, have other restaurants been calling you up and sort of saying, can we trial it too? And how do you monetize the program?
Well, there's 2 things. Firstly, because of COVID-19 and so many restrictions, where you can't actually utilise your full capacity, you don't see the full benefit of the ResButler system. So at the moment, there's no real urgency, I guess, for people to do it. people are there doing it. What we've done in our model is a little bit different. Is in very simple terms, it's about $11 per month for a restaurant to subscribe to the software. Then there's a booking charge of 5 cents per person. And the reason we did the 5 cents, because actually there is systems usage when someone makes the booking, but at 5 cents you can extend it to being more than just restaurants that take bookings. Cafes can take bookings, bars can take bookings, because if you look at the old model, it used to be $3 per person as a booking charge. Now if you're only selling a $4.50 coffee, then it's economically not viable, but at 5 cents it becomes viable.
And do you think restaurants will be able to use this data to alter their offerings, perhaps change what kind of menu they're offering or their operating hours, depending on demand?
Absolutely, and again, because you're managing space, you can turn around, and if you have a table that has a window view, you can give it different constraints to a table that doesn't have a window view. So you can turn around and say, okay, if you want a table with a window view, you need to take a 3-course menu.
Yeah.
If you don't want a table with a window view, you can have a 1-course menu, but you'll only get a window view if it happens to be available.
It takes a restaurateur who understands how slim the margins are in hospitality to offer such good value. You're confident you'll still make money out of 5 cents per customer?
Well, the benefit is twofold.
Yeah.
Firstly, if the restaurant's not busy, well then their only outlay is $11 a week for the base system. If they are busy, and let's say they do 1,000 people, it's $50 per week. Now, $50 per week adds up. And if now our model goes beyond just restaurants to cafes and bars, I'm very confident that you will have the scale there that makes it viable.
And so do you think this will take up 100% of your focus now, post-COVID?
I think it certainly will, because the system can just continue to grow to all aspects of the restaurant, because once you control the operation of the restaurant, then all of a sudden it becomes very easy to add other modules in there, whether it's staff rostering, whether it's purchasing, and your supply chain.
Peter, you've got some great restaurants in a beautiful building, so I do hope they open up soon and I can come and have a meal there and enjoy some of those great Italian wines. Thanks for coming in to talk to us about ResButler. If people are interested, where can they get a hold of you?
I guess just through inquiries at ResButler.com.
Great, okay. Thanks for coming in today, Peter Petroulas. Really good to see you.
Thank you. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks. Great story there, restaurateur to tech entrepreneur.
Well, and affordable tech. That's the other great thing about it. I'm really impressed.